The stats, they surprise us.
They certainly do. 4 first downs only for Queens. I mean, the 3 turnovers, that hurts you as well. You know, the good thing is it's only, you know, a 7-point game, so that's not the problem.
Now let's move on to our TSO play of the half. And Conrad Kloge is the TSO play of the half, receives the watch compliments of TSO. Swiss watches since 1853. He adjusted to the ball a la Andy Fantus that we saw last.
Well, he did awesome on this play. You know, he comes in from the backside of the formation, across to the back of the goal line, and great body control to catch that ball.
So Conrad Kloge, the only touchdown in this football game thus far. 11-5 is where we stand. Clearing the hair off the field. They were shaving some people's hair for a good cause at the halftime. As the Queens crowd looks on, we move on to our Pioneer Petroleum Athletes of the Week. This week's male athlete of the week is Kern Juman, who scored the winning goals. The Varsity Blues captured the OUA Soccer Championship. The female athlete of the week is Queens Kate Walker, who won 2 gold medals at the OUA Rowing Championships. Both will receive a $30 gift certificate from Pioneer Petroleum, redeemable at any of their 160 locations across Ontario. Pioneer Petroleum's driven to save you more. So there are the Tim McAuliffe lookalikes, except they needed to shave. Yeah, there's a Tim McAuliffe lookalike. See, because in the front he's got no hair, but in the back he does have hair.
That's right. I should have gone down there and then taken that look to try to see if I could be a little bit more like you, Tim.
Oh no! See right here, right there. I still got some peach fuzz, but
that's right.
You know. There you go. You had to get a shot, eh? Boys in the truck loving that one. So we're set to kick off our second half once we picked on Tim McAuliffe and his receding hairline. It's all right, Ben, you can laugh.
That's okay. I don't want to say it too loud because I'm going to be up there soon. So
11-5, it's a surprise, but it's still a football game. Chris Napoli will start the second half of the 104th Yates Cup with a short kickoff. And John Chard will take it in and try and make something happen. He is just tripped up at the very last second. Adam Ross. Looks like he might have saved something there.
Well, he certainly did. John Chard coming in with a big catch on this moonshot kick by Queens. And then he just tries to spread it out to the wide side of the field. Luckily enough for the Queens Golden Gales, Adam Ross was there for the big hit.
If a man down on the field as Mike Zaremba will march out the McMaster Marauders offense, and Zaremba's done a good job, man.
Well, he has. I mean, he's 3 for 4 so far, 34 yards. That's averaging over 10 yards a catch, and 10 yards a throw, that is, pardon me. And in the last game, he came in late in the third quarter when John Behe was hurt, and he did a fine job at that time. So, you know, if you're Coach Marshall, you're pretty happy to have a guy like Mike Zaremba coming off the bench, a guy who has, you know, 2 years of experience. He's been in a game like this before, although he didn't play much into it in this game. He knows the excitement and the crowds and what it's like to be in a Yates Cup championship game.
It was Adam Ross who was down on the play. He is their starting linebacker. So Nathan Haskell come in, not a huge drop-off. We've mentioned how deep their linebacking core is. It's Pierre, and it looks like Pierre's going to throw the football, looking for Andre Cockett. And good job batting the ball away. Some hand gesturing between the two guys. Kirby Calvert there on the coverage.
Well, good coverage by Calvert, and also Calvert. Not the best, or obviously he's not a quarterback, but you know, Coach Marshall will probably tell me you got to put some air underneath that ball, meaning that he's got to put the ball even higher up on even more of a rainbow pattern, if you want, so that the ball can come in over top of Calvert and not on the line the way it did.
Cockett in his 4th year, he transferred from Acadia in his first year here at Mac, and didn't start playing really till week 6. Zaremba. The lone setback is Mike Long. Second down, 10 to go for the Marauders. And Zaremba tries to zip it in there. And Mark Mitchell had a shot at that football.
Well, that was a delay route by the outside receiver, and as you said, ball a little off target. Mark Mitchell, linebacker, number 19, almost made a big play on that ball. You'll see Zaremba coming back, and he the idea with this delay route is that you're hoping to just wait a little bit more to allow Chris Rankin to come underneath that defender. Now, if he allowed Chris Rankin to do that, he would have been able to catch the ball and turn it upfield for a gain of 10 yards or more. But on this play, Zaremba a little bit too antsy to get the ball off.
So Mike Ray into punt again, and he will send a spiraling kick, and it's going to bounce again, and having trouble with that is Crawford. Misses a tackle from Mike Botterill, but the second wave once again gets at the Queens Golden Gales returners.
Jeff Smith with a big pop on special teams, and he loves it. He's been back on special teams since week 5, and really happy that Coach Ted Gavaya, the special teams coordinator for the MAC team, has allowed him to do some big hits on special teams.
So Tommy Dennison just 5 of 20 in this football game.
Well, part of the reason is obviously the fact that the defensive line and the linebackers of the McMaster defense are getting to Dennison. We talked about the great protection that his offensive line gave him last week. They haven't done the same in the first half, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust to that in the second half.
They try a quick out, and again they are able to get to it. Brandon Little catches Ian Fleming and drops him as soon as he catches the ball. And we talk about Tommy Dennison and how much we saw him throw the football last week. It was 561 yards. This week he's getting beaten up.
Well, he certainly is, and that's something that's really tough. We talked about it earlier before, how trying to stay focused mentally and to read the defense when you know that there's going to be a rush coming at you. If you're not worried about the rush, you can read defenses all day long and deliver the ball wherever you want. But if there's people coming at you and you know you're going to get hit, your mind goes somewhere else.
Dennison from the shotgun, sprinting out. Mike Gow giving chase. Here comes John Shard. He's going to get hit again. He just lobs it up for Ian Fleming. Makes the catch and tries to spin off a couple of tacklers, and he does. First down across the 50 and finally dragged down. And that's what you need from your big-time players. A big-time play. Ian Fleming just did that.
Well, he certainly did it. That was the longest developing play for an 8-yard gain. I mean, Tommy Dennison ran all the way across to his right, threw the ball across the field showing his arm strength, but the ball hung up there for a while. If it wasn't for, you'll see, here's Dennison coming out and he's got nowhere to throw. There's great coverage downfield. He knows he's got pressure coming at him. Now he just delivers the ball across his body, across the grain. And Coach Kwame Adu came in, and if he tried to go for the ball and just bump Ian Fleming, Fleming is too big a receiver to just bump out of his route. You have to tackle him down.
Andrew Smith is tackled down quite nicely. Colin Shanahan able to wrap him up by the ankles. Kwame Adu is no slouch. This is a first-team OUA All-Star that we're talking about, and I guess the matchup of the two first-team OUA All-Stars in Fleming and Adu is won on this case by Fleming.
Well, that's right. Ian Fleming, you know, at 6'4", 200 pounds, a little bit bigger than Kwame Adu, who's at 5'8", $185. So it's important for Kwame to make, if he's going to make a play on the ball, to secure that ball. If he's not,
they've got a man open, no one on him, and they try and throw it out. They do to Jonathan Fruit. There was a blown coverage there. Keswick Wainwright. You can see Tommy Dennison as there's a late flag, and that's probably a late hit on Wainwright. Jonathan Fruit in the sidelines, but you can see Tommy Dennison waving his arms. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Well, he noticed that Wainwright wasn't lined up man-to-man with his at the corner position, so there was a receiver and John Fruit by himself. No one in the same area code as he was all the way to the sidelines.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense. First down.
So it is a late hit, and we'll probably get a chance to look at Jonathan Fruit being wide open.
Well, Keswick Wainwright finally made the play, and what happened is that he just drove John Fruit all the way to the fence around the stadium here, not even letting him go, so he got called for a penalty.
That's 15 yards, and in a game like this, it means a lot. All of a sudden, the offense is coming alive. Here comes the blitz again, and again he goes down. Dennison is sacked once more. Manny Furtado with his second of the game.
Well, Furtado once again comes off the side of the line, untouched by the offensive. You'll see 36 unblocked coming into the picture and just tackling Dennison. There's nothing the quarterback can do like when the pressure comes like that.
So Manny Furtado, one of the quicker linebackers in the OUA, 6 foot 193, plays a lot bigger and has a big-time engine.
Well, he never stops. He's on special teams. He's talking on the field. He's communicating with his partners on defense, and he'll do everything to get the team to the Vanier Cup.
Brandon Little has just come up with his 9th interception of the year, and he's got a line of blockers back to the 34-yard line. So Brandon Little, leading the nation in interception, has one more and returns it 33 yards, and McMaster will take over from there.
Well, Brandon Little looked like the receiver on that play. He's lined up to the inside. He's got Brad Smith step by step. Now, this is the first snap that we've seen in 2 weeks that doesn't go directly to Dennison's chest. He delivers the ball to the outside, to the off shoulder. That was perfect ball. Brandon Little makes a big play over Brad Smith, and now to be able to turn it around and bring it back 33 yards like that, now that's athleticism.
Not bad for a converted quarterback, leading the nation in interceptions. Kyle Pear up the middle. Kyle Pear's got some room. Great cutback ability. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And he is up to the 49-yard line, gain of 14 on the play.
Well, you know what? In championship games, you need big plays. And Brandon Little gave that to the McMaster offense. He gave a big play, and there's Kyle Pear coming back off the first down after that big turnover. Comes in with a big run, dives forward for a first down.
So McMaster moving the ball to respond to the Queens Golden Gales, who were moving the ball before Dennison threw his second pick of the game, his only 2 interceptions in the playoffs. Zaremba. Lone setback is Lumsden. He'll stick in the block. Zaremba on the move, and he lets it go for Conrad Clogie and cock it, and it is banged incomplete as 2 receivers converge. Let's go down to Elliot Friedman with an update.
Thank you very much, Tim. I'm here with Brandon Little. 9 interceptions this season. What are you guys doing at Tom Dennison? 5 of 15 at the half, an interception here on the first drive of the second.
Well, we're putting a lot of pressure on them, which making them throw a lot of balls quicker than you might want to. We're game planning for them to throw a lot of deep balls, so we're playing a lot of good man coverage. Our defensive line did a lot of pressure. He's throwing it up, and we're sitting back waiting for him.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Let's go back up to Tim.
Thanks a lot, Elliot. And that's what we've seen. We see them try repeatedly to go after the home run ball. And they've been made to pay thus far. Got some motion on the McMaster side of things, and I'm sure that'll be a second down and 15.
Well, Sean Postma, number 75, haven't mentioned him a whole lot thus far as far as catching the ball or anything. He's used as an extra blocker on the line of scrimmage, and you know he was a little antsy to get off the ball.
Bruce Gray didn't seem too impressed either.
On the offense.
I don't want to call procedure. Come on, guys.
And we can see some of the players actually from the McMaster huddle telling the crowd to keep it down a little bit. I think they're getting into the position where the crowd is getting into it. It's getting louder, and the guys even down on the line of scrimmage are having a hard time hearing the quarterback.
So it will be 2nd and 15 for Greg Marshall's McMaster Marauders. They lead 11-5, 3rd quarter. The top 2 teams in the nation, and as they call a timeout, we will take one as well. 11-5, McMaster leads back after these. So Mike Zaremba and the McMaster offense faced with a 2nd down and 15. It's the Queens crowd that's getting loud, supported by a very large contingent. Over the middle shot, Postma popped loose, and they'll say it's an incomplete pass, as Postma didn't have complete control of that football before he was jarred.
No, that's right. He never had control. If he did, he would have been gone for a good gain. That was misdirection. Here's the rollout to the right side of the formation. There's Postma leaking back to the left side. Now, if he gets away from Adam Ross, number 57 there, he's gone. He turns the corner. He gets a first down for the McMaster Marauders.
Instead, Mike Ray will attempt his 8th punt of the game. Averaging 40. Both punters doing a great job in this game. We've got enough work. And Ray again. This one, huge. He'll trace Crawford back to his 15. He touches the football. Is it a loose ball? The referee throws a flag. I don't know if it touched Brian Crawford, but he acted as though it didn't. The referees are going to talk this over.
Now the Queens players are saying they'd never touched the ball, so it should be a 10-yard penalty for no yards. And the McMaster side is arguing that the Queens player actually did touch the ball.
The referees will do the right thing and talk to each other and determine. They say it's Queens ball, and the no yards penalty will be called.
On the kicking team. First down, Queens.
Now we can hear the crowd disagreeing with that. Here's Crawford. Did he touch the ball or not? Now it's hard for us even to tell from the replay. The gloves with the different colors, did he actually touch the ball or not? But Manny Furtado certainly thought that he had touched the ball, and he dove on it to get his offense a good position.
Well, looks like the referees made a good call there. And it didn't look like Brian Crawford touched it on that second look.
Now, there's one thing we don't like to do is second guess the referees, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the game is called as fairly as possible for both teams out there.
So they catch a break. McMaster leading 11-5 in the third quarter. Dennison, quick hitch to Jonathan Fruit. Fruit will get some positive yardage before being absolutely swarmed by the Marauders. Take a break here and send it back to Sid Sixero with a quick sports update. Sid?
Thanks a lot, Tim. You know, the Edmonton Oilers so far this year have made a habit of falling behind early, and last night against Long Island was no different. Down 2-0 already in period 2. Dave Scatcher down low makes it 3-0. He had 2 goals on the night. The Islanders snap a nasty 6-game losing streak. Final was 4-2 in their favor. Tim, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Sid. Gain of 6 on the play for Fruit and the Gales offense. Dennison, another quick out. Again to Fruit, and he is met. Keswick Wainwright there to lay the lick immediately.
And Keswick Wainwright came back for a big pop on this one. He had great man-to-man coverage, and after the last play where he put the ball, where he hit John Fruit into the fence, he was taken aside by Coach Marshall. Coach Marshall probably had a couple of words with him saying, we can't take penalties like this in a game like as important as this one. But Keswick, he made it back on this play by giving him such a big pop on this play.
Man down for McMaster as they bring out the chains, and Andrew Jones is the man being helped off the field, and we'll have to see if this is a first down as Queens is starting to move the football.
Well, they are, and they've been doing a good job spreading the ball from one side to the next. And they're going to have a third down here. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether they're going to go for it, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they did.
It is third down and inches for the Golden Gales. Decision time for Pat Sheehan and the offense. No decision to be made. They're going for it. Sheldon Weeks is the fullback. The McMaster crowd is on its feet. And we've got movement and a flag, and this will be no play and procedure on Queens. And I can just see the bullet hole in their foot right now.
Well, that's right. Talk about getting the crowd involved in this game and making it, you know, that 13th man that people talk about. And, you know, when the crowd gets involved, and on this last play, it certainly made a difference as there was a procedure on the Queens side.
Third down repeated.
So that'll bring out Frudenhill and Tommy Dennison and the Queens Golden Gales. Make a mistake and are made to pay. We'll have to punt the ball away. Frudenhill for the 7th time will unleash. Rick Andrade is the lone man back for McMaster Marauders. Frudenhill waiting for one more man to come on, and that's Sheldon Weeks. They snap the football, not enough men set. Andrade takes it in at the 40, bumps into his own man, and is dropped right there by Andrew Pepin.
Now, there was a legal substitution by Queens coming in late in the formation, but the funny thing was McMaster was also one man short on the return, so they could have lined up and kicked the ball away 11 on 11, and no one would have ever noticed. But you saw the McMaster guys trying to bring people in, and then the coaches told their own players, stay back here, we don't want to take the penalty. And then Queens did the opposite. They said, fine, go in, and now they'll be called for an illegal substitution.
Looks like they're going to make him kick it again. Would have been playing American football there for a second.
That's right, 11 on 11.
Queen. Third down repeat.
Just would have wondered why we were punting on third down. But Vreugdenhil will step back, and Queens 2 straight penalties. Great opportunity for the Marauders. And you can see Chris Van Ziel counting them up out there, saying we better have enough players out here.
Well, McMaster got lucky on that one because it could have certainly hurt them to have only a return with 11 people out there.
The crowd gets loud again. Vreugdenhil gets it away. Andrade takes it in. At midfield, dragged down, and we're going to take a break. With McMaster leading 11-5 in the third quarter. They are lined up around the fences, even outside the stadium, looking for a view of this OUA final. The Yates Cup in the right to host the Churchill Bowl. On the line is Kyle Pierre, finds some running room, and Pierre has the ball punched out, and it is recovered by the Marauders. A great play on the defensive secondary to pop it loose, but Cockett is there to save the day.
Talk about the wheels by Andre Cockett. He's downfield trying to make a block. You'll see him at the top of the screen. There's Cal Pierre going through, doing a great job running the ball. And then you'll see Kurt McClellan coming in, popping the ball loose. And there's Cockett jumping on the ball, securing it for the first down.
That's twice that Cockett has recovered a loose ball, coughed up by one of his teammates. Coming up big, and Pierre's finding some running room.
You know what, that's a credit to the offensive line. If they can do it right up front, Cal's going to do a great job running the ball for them.
Another timeout, and as they take a timeout, we will as well. McMaster driving, up 6. So it's first down and 10 to go for the McMaster Marauders from the Gales 21, and Pierre's really turned it up.
Well, he certainly has, and the offensive line are creating holes for him. He's run for 50 yards in the second half compared to 39 in the first half. So in only half a quarter of play in the second half, he's already got many more yards than he had in the first half. So credit to the offensive line and to Kyle Pierre's ability to run the ball hard.
Pierre is the lone setback. 4 receivers, that's Mike Long in motion. Queens stacking the line, and Pierre, the cutback ability, runs over McClellan, and he's inside the 15.
Now, there's some interesting things happening down the field. Fabio Feliz got thrown around, and you'll see coming in, he's at the right, he's number 60, the tackle on the right side, and you'll see him being thrown around by Adam Ross right here at the end of the play. And after that, they had a little bit of a discussion.
Dinner plans?
That's right. I think they were asking where they were hanging out tonight, seeing if they were going to, meet up later.
We're right on the Queens side of things now. The crowd is split up. One side is McMaster, the other side is Queens, and the Queens fans are on their feet for second down and short. Inside the 15, the handoff will go to Pierre. Pierre is across the 10, down close to the 5-yard line, and another first down for the Marauders.
Big run by Cal Pierre and big push up front by the offensive line. Here you'll see Cal Pierre taking the ball. Mike Long, number 21, number 40, Nick Binder bouncing, making some plays happen, and Cal Pierre moving forward for the first down.
Fabio Feliz is down on the ground. He doesn't want to stay down, and he is very upset.
Well, Fabio's an interesting character. He's the kind of guy that will give you everything you have and everything he has, and all he needs is a little talk by one of the leaders on offense. So look for Cal Pierre to go and talk to him as quick as he can, and you'll see Fabio coming right back in. He's the kind of guy that will give it everything all afternoon for you.
Feliz 6'2", 296 in his third year this year, a first-team OUA All-Star. Dave Ford, the right guard, also a first-team OUA All-Star.
And well-deserved for those guys. They've worked really hard. Fabio Feliz started in his first year, 3 years ago even, I remember, and I never had to worry about my backside. I knew Fab had it, and he had control of it.
They bring in the big fellas, including Colin Shanahan at the tight end spot. The deep back is Lumsden. He'll get the ball, carrying Lumsden, churning across the 5-yard line, and that's where he'll be stopped. So Lumsden trying to keep those knees pumping, but just too many gold jerseys in the.
Well, that's a tough stand right here by the Golden Gales defense, you know, and they're not going to quit. They're not going to let them run all over it. They're going to stand tall, stand tough, and do everything they can to stop that McMaster offense from reaching the end zone.
Second down, goal to go, and back comes Kyle Pear in place of Lumsden, who's had some success carrying the ball, 18 yards and 4 carries, although his long one was called back because of a penalty. It's a full house backfield. Here is the deep back, and it's Pear who will get the ball, bounces outside, touchdown, McMaster, and who else but Kyle Pear, number 17 on the year.
Talk about misdirection and using the flow of this offense. They're sending all the fullbacks to the one side of the formation. Kyle Pear counters it. There's 21 and 40 going to the left side. Kyle Pear bounces it back to the right. And then Andy Zaremba, number 65, pulling around, making a big block for Kyle Pear.
Wow. Well, he might be proving it today. Tom Dennison was the OUA MVP. Kyle Pear, probably any other year would have been right up there, but kind of overshadowed by the years that Dennison and Andy Fantus had. But take nothing away from Kyle Pear. He's got 17 touchdowns, and he's also got an 18-5 lead in the third quarter. Kyle Pear accounts for 52 of a 55-yard drive, and he caps it off with his 17th touchdown of the year. And McMaster, with 4:37 remaining in the third quarter, leads 18-5. McKinnon on the return. He's got some big playability, but he won't be able to show it off as he is wrapped up. Let's go back to the Score Studios in Toronto for an update with Sid Sixero.
Thanks a lot, Tim. To the Premiership in England, the Manchester Derby between United and City happened today. It was the last derby ever to be played at Main Road, and the City fans loved it. Tied up at 1, Sean Goddard takes it from Gary Neville, beats Fabian Barthez. He had 2 on the afternoon. Man City win their first derby since '89. Final was 3-1. Tim, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Sid. There's another guy with a Tim McAuliffe haircut, Fabian Barthez. Dennison and the Gales need to respond. He's under center and loads at Craig Spear, and he can't come up with the catch. And the Gales are really struggling on offense, Ben.
Well, they have, and they haven't had the chance to be out on the field much in the second half thus far. You know, the thing with the McMaster offense going 55 yards is that they used it. They used the clock a lot. They used all running plays in that last drive. So what does that mean? That means the Queens offense is sitting on the bench, getting cold, and not being out on the field doing what they're doing best, which is throwing the ball and making plays.
Tom Dennison, in his first 2 playoff games, threw for almost 1,000 yards, and he is picked off. It's Josh Armstrong. He could go, and he won't. He is knocked out at the 8-yard line, but still a massive play as there's a block being thrown all the way deep in the end zone. Josh Armstrong, with a flag down on the field, comes up with a massive play. His first career interception. Couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, Josh Armstrong makes a big play on that interception, and unfortunately, some of the gain that he had after the catch will be called back due to a holding call on that return. But nonetheless, great athletic play, and he was at the right spot at the right time to make it.
Holding on McMaster after the interception. First down.
That is the 3rd interception thrown by Tom Dennison this game, and it looked like he was just trying to unload it before he got hit. Josh Armstrong bringing it back, had visions of the goalpost, but instead the McMaster Marauders will take over on the 33, and you saw the turnovers, Ben. You can't have that in a Yates Cup game.
That's right. Championship games, turnovers will kill you. This is the same scenario as we had after the first play of the first quarter. All of a sudden, Mac is on the 28-yard line knocking at the door.
Zaremba, play action formation, looking for the home run ball, looking for Vaughn Swart, and Swart will haul it in for a touchdown. McMaster goes for the jugular after the interception, and Vaughn Swart comes up with the big catch, 28 yards on the score.
There's the replay. There's Mike Zaremba dropping back. Play action. Waits for the great pattern. And what allows him to do that is the protection up front. Vaughn Swart just backs up into the end zone. He's by himself, makes a big play on the ball, and hangs on to it for the touchdown.
That's Swart's 5th TD on the year. Second team OUA All-Star with 42 receptions in the regular season, and Mike Ray hammers it through, and all of a sudden we've got a 25-5 game. And this Queens offense seems to be reeling, but we can't forget that they can put points on the board in a hurry, and I'm sure Greg Marshall's not forgetting that.
Well, that's right, and that's probably the talk that's going on right now on the sidelines for McMaster. They're saying, you know, this is still really early in the game. We're up by, 20 points, but it doesn't mean anything. So let's stick at it. Let's keep going.
Let's go down to Elliot Friedman.
Thank you very much. Tim here with Mike Zaremba right now. And Mike, I guess when Greg Marshall's the coach, you got to be ready every week. Don't know when it's going to be you and when it's going to be John.
That's right. I just try to go into every game thinking that, if it's on one play away from playing, right? So I keep that mentality, and when I do get my chance, I just, do my best. So,
Mike, what's the reason the offense has been able to start moving the ball from the point that you came into this game?
Definitely our running game. Our line's picking it up, and we're just starting to pound the ball a bit and getting creases, and that's what we got to do.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Congratulations. Tim, back up to you. Thanks, Mike.
You as a quarterback kind of know what he's talking about.
Well, definitely. I mean, as a backup, it's really hard to be ready at all times, but he's done a great job to keep his mind into it and to come out and make big plays. And now it's important that they keep using the clock, pounding the ball, and making big plays.
McKinnon just fumbled that ball in his own end zone, and he's going to try and take it out, but nothing's going to happen there. Mike Ray with a massive kickoff, and McKinnon has problems with it. And Queens has got to shake the cobwebs out, and they got to do it in a hurry.
Well, that's right. And I mean, the momentum is big in the game of football, and you see it happen right now. A couple big plays by McMaster, and then mishaps like that on the receiving end of the kick, and it just hurts you for to not being able to move the ball like that.
The ball will come out to the 35-yard line. And Tom Dennison, as I mentioned, in the first 2 playoff games, threw for almost 1,000 yards.
You saw Dennison telling with a little grin on the going into the huddle, saying, we're good, guys.
He's got Fruit again wide open on the wide side of the field. He was yelling at his players to get to the line, get to the line, get to the line, and no one got there, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty on the Queens Golden Gales.
Now, if there's one guy that hasn't quit yet, it's Tommy Dennison, and he's trying to get Mac, off-footed. Basically, McMaster was still in the huddle when Queens came out, and he basically told his players, let's line up and let's make sure it happens.
It's decline. Second down.
So Greg Marshall says second down and 10 is better than taking the yards on that. They declined the penalty and trying to switch men in, and Dennison's got them caught off again. From the shotgun, unloads looking for Fleming, and Fleming comes up with it. He's played the best game of any of the Golden Gales thus far.
Well, he has, and he's made big plays for his quarterback and for the rest of his offensive line. And the main thing is he's getting open, and he's making plays when the ball is coming at him. He's not going to let anybody else fight him off for the football.
They go to a hurry-up offense on the 19-yard gain by Fleming. Dennison looking for the quick hitch, and the quick hitch is that he's going to get sacked. Nick Binder is there, and so is Mike Gow off the end.
You know what? McMaster will keep bringing pressure because it's been successful all game long. Now, if you're the Queens offense, you have to settle down, you have to find ways to block it, or just throw the ball quickly. But right now, they're doing neither.
That is the 5th sack, and you can see Mike Gow pumping this crowd up as if there was any need. Second down long. Dennison under pressure again. Botterill's closing speed. He will go down for the 6th time this game.
Talk about being aggressive on the McMaster defensive side of the ball. They're coming after Dennison, and they won't let him go. They keep coming after him, and after a while, if you're the quarterback, you've had enough. And sometimes things like this happen, and you can't do anything about it. You just have to get back up and get ready to roll.
Dennison really wanted a late hit call on this. You see Jeff Robertshaw trying to avoid it. But in the end, it's 3rd and about 4 miles. Vrugden Hill will come in to punt. And the Gales defense is going to come up with something. Going to need to come up with something. Andrade has it bounce off of him. That's a loose ball. He picks it up. Trudeau trying to chase him down. Andrew Smith will finally wrap him up at the 36-yard line. We'll take this chance to go back for a game update with our friends at Cicero.
Tim, huge news in the NFL. Chris Carter's comeback has been put on hold. The Dolphins wideout was hospitalized today with what doctors are calling a kidney abnormality. He'll undergo some more tests over the next few days. Carter didn't practice this week because of what the team called an upset stomach. He will not play for sure tomorrow night when Miami take on the Jets, so that's huge, Tim. Back to you.
That's tough news for the NFL's 2nd all-time leading receiver, and tough news for Tommy Dennison is that this scheming by the defense of the McMaster Marauders has paid off.
Well, they certainly has. They've sacked him 6 times for a loss of 64 yards, so that's going to hurt you in a game like the Yates Cup Championship.
Pass intended for Andre Cockett, and that falls incomplete. Zremba just short-armed it a wee bit. But the Gales need a play. 1:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Well, right now, I'm sure the Queens Golden Gales will take anything, you know, a turnover, a fumble recovery, an interception, a sack, anything to get a little bit of the momentum back from the McMaster team right now, because for the last 5 minutes, it's been all McMaster.
And it starts now. Stacking the line of scrimmage. Lumsden up the gut. Lumsden stretching out. He'll be just shy of a 1st down. A gain of about 8 on the play.
A great job by the McMaster offense to give Jesse Lumsden just a little bit of a crease. What happened was Queens Golden Gales came in, lined up about 8 defensive players right on the line of scrimmage. So all you need is one little crease to get him through. Once he's past that first wall, he's gone. And if it hadn't been for one shoe tackle on that one, Jesse would have been gone for a big game.
Well, the Gales get their stop. It's 2 and out for the Marauders. And we've seen them bring the house on a couple of Mike Ray's punts. We'll have to see what they do on his 9th punt of the day. They'll set up for the return. And it's Brad Smith. And he is clotheslined at the point of attack. Big Paul reaches out there and wraps him up and pulls him down.
Big Jay Pottinger coming in on the head. Here's number 24, Brad Smith, coming in, and you'll see Pottinger coming in across. Boom, with the right hand. Just grabs enough of the jersey to bring him down.
Brad Smith is the son of Larry Smith, who of course played in the CFL, was the CFL commissioner, and now is publisher of the Montreal Gazette. Brad's in his 1st year, so the lineage runs deep in this game. Jesse Lumsden and Brad Smith, and Tom Dennison needs to make a play. He's looking for Jonathan Fruit. Keswick Wainwright has picked it off, and he will try and stiff-arm Crawford, but for the 4th time this game, Tommy Dennison is picked off.
That pressure is getting to Dennison, and he's making, you know, hurried throws, which result into interceptions. Now, the pressure wasn't coming that badly to him right on this play, but the ball was simply a bad delivery. Way behind John Frood, and Keswick Wainwright was by himself to make a play on the ball.
As if things weren't bad enough for the Queens Golden Gales right now, Ryan McElmoy, their starting right tackle, is down on the field. And If you're on that Queens Golden Gale bench, what do you have to do?
Well, right now you got to trigger some energy from your defense. If you can stop the McMaster offense and create a turnover, it will give the momentum back, and I've mentioned that earlier. Now, if you're on the offensive side, you have to try to calm your players down and say, listen, guys, we can make this happen. It's just a question of staying patient and not going for the home run ball. All we need is first downs after first downs, and that's it. We don't need to get 20 points in one play. Only a little bit at a time.
Time now for the Wilson Sounds of the Game, brought to you by Wilson Sports. Wilson, the official football of the OUA.
Good job, Fleming. That's it. You're in the game. Good job.
Will be helped off the field, and Keswick Wainwright getting in on the turnover battle, as that is the 6th Queens turnover of this football game. Wainwright in his first year, tough position to start in your first year at corner. Wainwright has done a great job. Zaremba under center. Lumsden the lone setback, and the handoff will go to Lumsden. It's those big legs churning, and
Jesse Lumsden, the ball carrier.
Kind of reminds me of a little bit of Eddie George, the way he's upright and gets those knees pumping. That marks the end of the third quarter. The hometown Marauders leading 26-5. Back after these. Oh yeah, Mac knows the score. It's 26-5. Oh, hey, look at that.
It's always nice to come back to Mac.
Zaremba back to pass on second down over the middle. Conrad Kloge inside the 10, down inside the 5 to the 2-yard line, and Mac is pouring it on.
Great catch and run by Conrad Kloge, comes across underneath, and nice delivery by Zaremba. Here he is dropping back to 5 steps, just drops the ball underneath, and then Conrad just turns upfield trying to make something happen after the catch.
Well, what a job Mike Zaremba has done coming into this game as a cold quarterback. Hasn't really seen a lot of time, and it's a great segue into our Centaur Products quarterback matchups. Brought to you by Centaur Products, and Dennison's thrown for 193 yards, but just the 11 of 30.
Well, the other thing is that Queens relies on Dennison's arm, unlike Mac, who relies on this.
Kyle Pear going up over the top for the touchdown, and McMaster goes for the jugular and gets it.
As you mentioned earlier in the season, Kyle Pear looked more like Walter Payton on that one. He gets the ball, fumbles a little bit on the handoff, and you'll see it right here. He gets the ball, fumbles a little bit, and then just dives over everybody else.
He loves that short yardage play where he can just show off the 4-inch vertical. He's been getting up there, though.
Well, he has. I mean, those days as a basketball player are coming back handy.
Only 5'9", but Kyle Pear has been big. 18 touchdowns on the year, and, well, we got a chance. Let's send it for a game break. They're on 6-0.
Thanks, Tim. Tonight in Boston, the Bruins will play host to the Ottawa Senators. Jacques Martin's club are currently 6 points back of the Bruins for first in the Northeast.
Division games are important, and you know, we played a pretty good game in Boston last time, and they were able to tie it up at the end, but hopefully we can come out with a win.
So the McMaster faithful smiling at one side of the grandstand. The other side of the grandstand is not enjoying seeing Kyle Pear up close and personal for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, he's done great. There's still over 14 minutes left in this game. You can see that. I can tell you this, you'll see more Kyle Pear as the game rolls along.
most definitely when the McMaster Marauders look to wear down a clock, Kyle here is a big part of it.
Oh, he certainly is. And then you'll probably see Coach Marshall going to Jesse Lumsden and Rick Andrade and maybe Mike Long and Morgan Thomas. Will see a little bit of the ball carrying efforts this afternoon as they try to kill some more of the clock.
Mike Ray will send it and play. Brian Crawford settles under it. See if he can get that 4.36 speed into gear, and maybe he can. Bounces to the outside and it's up across the 36. We've got a late flag on the play as he was tossed out of bounds. We'll have to wait and see if Queens will get even better field position.
And he could certainly use it at this point. You know, anything to help the offense get into a groove would be more than welcome, I'm sure, from the Queens Golden Gales.
So it looks like we have a face mask call.
In the center of this face mask, McMaster. First down.
Face mask call against Marauders.
Also got a man down on the Marauder side of things. So Tom Dennison. It's Manny Furtado down. This guy's done it all for the Marauders this year.
Well, he certainly has, sacking the quarterback a couple of times on his own this afternoon, but also making big plays on special teams and on defense all season long. He's a great addition to the McMaster defense this year, and everyone is more than happy to have him around.
Just 2 minutes left in the game. It's McGill 10 and Concordia 6. And with 2 minutes left in the first quarter out west.
So this is part of a big CIS day across the nation. Quarterfinal action. Each conference playing their final today, and the Queens Golden Gales need something in a hurry. Dennison finally has time in the pocket, and he's going to try and run out of it. And he breaks a couple of tackles and isn't wrestled down until about the 50-yard line of the Marauders. Gain of about 6 when it looked like he might have been dropped for nothing.
Well, you know what? He made something out of nothing because there was nowhere for him to throw the ball. Great protection, a lot of time, but great coverage downfield. So what he has to do is start running. Then he spins out once, spins out twice, and the third time, that's it. They get a hand on him, but at least he made a 7-yard gain.
Second down. 4 to go. And they hand the football off. There's a rarity. As Crawford gets the ball carry. Crawford had 3 touchdowns last week versus Western.
Along with Andrew Jones.
He is short of the first down.
What we have to understand is that although he ran for 3 touchdowns last week, he wasn't the main ball carrier. They simply threw the ball downfield all day long, and they would get to the 10-yard line and use Crawford as a decoy and just throw him into the end zone with the draw play. He had got the ball handed off him for the 3rd time only today.
Queens will go for it on 3rd down. It's an option. And Crawford's got some room down the sidelines, lowers his shoulder, and has the 1st down and a big gain. So the Golden Gales will not die just yet.
First down.
Well, they're going to keep fighting till the end of this one. And talking with the coaches prior to the game, they said it's going to come down to whoever has the ball in their hands last. Now, if you look at it right now, it may not be so, but if the Queens Golden Gales get into it, it very well could come back and be an extremely close game down the stretch.
That's just the 8th carry for the Queens Golden Gales, and Dennison's looking deep for Northcote, laying out and coming up with it inside the McMaster 10-yard line. Hold on just 1 second.
Now that looked like the Queens Golden Gales we saw last weekend against Western. Half roll out by Dennison. You'll see him rolling to his left, and he just sets up and throws a beautiful ball to the outside to Northcote going on the corner pattern. Great job by Northcote to dive and keep that ball in.
So it's 1st down, 10 to go from the 5-yard line. Dennison flushed out. Mike Gow hanging on for dear life, and Mike Gow will be credited with another sack for the McMaster Marauders.
Now there was good coverage downfield, and Dennison couldn't throw the ball where he wanted. He had looked the left side of the formation to Sean McKinnon, but great coverage downfield, couldn't do anything about it. So he tried to hang on and run the ball, but there will be a first down for the Queens Gold Gales due to a flag on the play.
On the defense, it'll be first down repeat.
There was a hold called on McMaster, and that will give the Queens Golden Gales another crack at first down. This time from the 3-yard line. This McMaster crowd, who had kind of been lulled a little to sleep because of the fact that they had grabbed such a big lead, 33-5, all of a sudden begins to roar again. First down, goal to go from the McMaster 3. Naked bootleg for Dennison under deep pressure on Loads. Coming back to the ball was John Frew, but he couldn't come up with it. And once again, the pressure on Tom Dennison does not allow him to deliver that football.
Well, if it hadn't been for Mike Gow, you'll see number 77 coming in. Here he is at the left side of your screen. Now he gets on his horse, tries to chase after Dennison. If it's not for that, Dennison has all day to throw the ball to find the right receiver. Now due to that, the ball was a little thrown off target. John Frew couldn't make the catch.
Mike Gow, who has been hobbled this year, back in the lineup, has done a great job at pressuring Tom Dennison, as has the rest of this Marauder defense. Second down, goal to go. Sheldon Weeks, the fullback. Aaron Smith, the tailback. And it's Weeks, the big fella, who tries to lower his shoulder, and he is stopped short of the goal line. It will be third down, goal to go for the Gales, who undoubtedly will leave their offense in.
Well, that's right. I mean, Coach Sheehan will, I don't think it's even a thought right now, and they'll probably go back to something similar to this. Big Weeks going down the middle, trying to dive forward for the touchdown, but now they've only had 1 yard to go instead of the 2. So
here it is. Third and goal. Dennison will take it himself, and he will score his 6th rushing touchdown of the game, and don't leave just yet. This Golden Gales offense has been potent all season long, and Dennison has just cut it to a 33-11 game.
Well, that's what they needed. They needed a drive where they could move the ball down the field quickly and get a score. And they had a big play by Northcote down on the, catching that ball. And there's Dennison diving forward for the touchdown.
Dennison followed Ramsey Ida, a second-team OUA All-Star, and Ida remains down on the field. And we saw this a lot last week. After every touchdown, the Queens fans chant, but this is the first time today that they've been able to pull this one out of the bag.
Well, that's right. They've been, they've been getting some points off of the field goal unit, some from, the safety and the defense, trying to do a good job on special teams, and now finally the first touchdown for the Gales all day.
So as they help Ida off the field, Chris Napoli will be coming out to attempt the extra point. Napoli 14 of 15 last week, excuse me. He had one block by Western. Do you start thinking onside kick or anything along those lines with 11-12 remaining?
Well, I don't think that you're at that point just yet. It's a 21-point game, and you can certainly keep the ball down and allow your defense to do things for you.
33-12, 11-12 remaining in the fourth quarter. Can they come back? So after dropping 50 points on the Western Mustangs, the Queens Golden Gales need 3 quarters and a little over 3 minutes to get their first touchdown of the game.
Well, if you watched the game last weekend, you're watching it today, you're thinking it's a different team. No, they changed their jerseys, but it is the same team, and unfortunately they haven't played at the same level, and part of the reason is that it's not the same team that they're playing, and their schemes from McMaster are giving them a hard time.
Jesse Lumsden drops the kickoff, picks it up quickly, makes one move, and stays on his feet and gets up to about the 27-yard line. We have another update. It comes from Elliot Friedman this time.
Kickoff taken by Jesse Wilson. Octopoli making the tackle. Along with Dave Rudy.
I guess we can't hear Elliot.
5-yard line, please. Join the crowd.
He's a great voice. We'll try and get back down to Elliot Friedman in a second. Meanwhile, it is first down, 10 to go for the McMaster Marauders. Trying to ice this with 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Queens coming off their most impressive drive of the game. Kyle Pear wrapped up in the backfield, bounces off one, can't bounce off two. As Ross comes in and finally drops him along with Jack Goudreau.
Well, it's like anything else. You can only miss Kyle Pierce so many times. You know, after a while, you wrap him up and you take him down like anybody else. But there's a great penetration at the point of attack by Goudreau, and then he needed help by Adam Ross to come over top and make a big hit to stop him from gaining any yardage.
Goudreau played one season with the Hull Olympics, so an all-around athlete of the QMJHL. Looks like the house is coming. Even Mitchell Smith, the free safety, is pinched up here, and they are bringing it. Gets rid of it, and Von Swart has a little battle there with Dave Brown, basically trying to get rid of it in a hurry. But Queens, another 2 and out, and they're going to get the football back.
Well, and that's the main thing. You know, they break about 9 players on the line of scrimmage on that last play, and they force Mike Zaremba to call an audible on the line of scrimmage. Great decision to go to the outside, try to go to your #1 receiver in Von Swart, but you have to deliver the ball, and he has to make the catch. So great call by the Queens defense to bring a little pressure, forcing McMaster to punt on this third down.
Mike Ray in for the 10th time this game. And Queens may not be done just yet. Mike Ray just gets it away. Brad Smith waiting for the kick, and he will take it in. Looking for some blockers. Cuts up field across the 50. And that's where he'll be dropped. Let's send it back to the Score Studios for an update from Sid Sixero.
Thank you, Tim. The Habs tonight are going to host LA. The Kings are getting healthier. Aaron Miller returned for yesterday's win over the Sens, and the Habs are certainly wary of this.
They got a good team. Yeah, they got a very skilled player, and they got good defense, good goaltender, and that's for sure. 2 games in tonight, we need to come in strong and you know, score the first goal, play with the lead, and I hope.
Brad Smith over the middle, and Dennison has hit him to the 20-yard line. Thank you very much, Sid, and thank you very much, Tom Dennison, as he tries to quiet down his crowd after a gain of 40 on the play.
Now this is the Dennison we saw last weekend. He stands tall in the pocket, delivers a great ball to Brad Smith coming down on the post pattern.
They're into the hurry-up offense. Fourth quarter, Dennison. Here comes the pressure. He unloads, looking for North, go to the end zone. And he just misses grabbing that momentum and just shoving it in Mac's face because the Golden Gales are coming.
And you see Dennison throwing a great ball again to the outside, and that was right in his hands. You know, Northcote, we saw him catch one earlier. He can catch those, just a question of concentration. And it's like anything else. If you don't get pressure to Dennison, he will do this all day long.
These two teams met in week 1. It was decided by a field goal. It looked as though Mac was going to blow him out, but the Gales are coming. Dennison looking to the flats. He's got Frood wide open, didn't realize how wide open he was, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
I don't know if that was a miscommunication in the coverage on defense, but that certainly was a nice throw by Dennison, and at the same time as he delivered the ball, he got popped by both Mike Gow and Jeff Smith. So there's Jeff Smith and Colin Chahan coming in, but great ball delivery to John Frood, who's trying to dive forward for the touchdown.
First down, goal to go for the Queens Golden Gales. The McMaster faithful is screaming. The lone setback, Brian Crawford. He'll get the pitch. Crawford looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Gales, and this game is not over.
We talked about it earlier. It certainly could come down to whoever has the ball in their hands last. And that was a great drive by the Queens Golden Gales. Great play calling on the goal line to allow Ryan Crawford right here. Brian Crawford, that is, pardon me, to come in and dive over the goal line for a touchdown.
Boy, Dennison is just taking a licking and keep on ticking. They tell you, and you got to crash down on that quarterback every time you run that option. And he got popped as he let that go.
You know what? Not many quarterbacks in this league could have taken the beating he's taken all day today and keep playing the way he has. He's, stayed with it, and he's throwing the ball hard and throwing the ball well.
All of a sudden, it is 33-19. Plenty of time left. The Queens faithful all of a sudden has reason to smile. 2 touchdowns in this fourth quarter has cut it to a 14-point game. That scoring drive goes 4 plays, 60 yards, and Bruce Gray's having a little conversation with Coach Sheehan as we are prepared to get underway. 8:39 remaining in the fourth quarter, and Coach Marshall may be thinking, do I keep sending my guys after Tom Dennison? What has to be done? The other side of things is we got to move the ball on offense.
Well, that's the main thing. Right now, in the last few minutes, in the last 5 minutes or so, McMaster looked as if they were playing a let's not lose kind of game. The reason why they were successful in the beginning is because they were playing let's win kind of game. So they have to come back to that, be aggressive both on offense and on defense. Keep sending the defensive line and linebackers to the quarterback, and to get some first down on offense is key. You just mentioned it. They have to get things done on offense. Keep moving the ball. Allow Calpure to make things happen.
Chris Napoli will put the ball in play for the Queens Golden Gales, who are trying to come back against the undefeated McMaster Marauders in a battle of the 2 best college teams in our nation. And Mark Mitchell down there on special teams pins the Marauders deep as Lumsden can only get to the 21-yard line.
Talk about momentum change. We mentioned it earlier. McMaster had great momentum, and now you have Queens scoring a touchdown, coming in on special teams, and having a guy like Mark Mitchell coming in for a big play.
So Mike Zaremba is going to have to settle his team down. All of a sudden, it's the Golden Gales crowd that is very, very loud.
This is the exciting part of football. You want to be in a game where it's close in the fourth quarter, it's enjoyable to play in, and you have a chance to win it.
The Gales fans making the 4-hour trip from Kingston, Ontario. And we have offside on McMaster, and perhaps on the Queens side of things, it's just getting too loud.
Well, that's you mentioned it. At that end of the field, the Queens crowd is going nuts. They're yelling and screaming. It's important for the offensive linemen from the McMaster side to concentrate on the voice of their quarterback. If you have to as a quarterback, you go with a silent count. You just let the ball snap, and then everybody else moves afterwards. But this crowd is getting into it, and it's making it interesting.
There's about 7,000 people here. They say it only holds about 6,500, but there's people outside the fences in both end zones. And they are on their feet on the Queens side of things. It is first down, 15 to go for the McMaster Marauders. Kyle Perry's going to touch the ball a lot. He spins off 1 tackle and gains about 7 on the play.
Just enough to bring it back to decent yardage, and a hard run by Kyle Perry. This defense is not going to quit. They're going to keep coming after him. Big plays up front. The spin may have been a little early as he spun right into the defender's hands.
Kyle Perry's used to getting carries. He led the nation in carries, and when we were at this stadium last, he set an OUA record with 39 carries, breaking Drew Solin's mark set last year. So it is second down and long. Another 2 and out for the Marauders could be very, very dangerous. Here the lead back. Lumsden the deep back. It's Lumsden who will get the carry, and he is stopped by the Queens defense, and indeed it is 2 and out. The Golden Gales are coming on strong.
You know what? There's nothing you can do with an offense like this when that strong defense led by Corey Trudeau has such energy and power. They're stuffing the point of attack with 4 and 5 defenders, and they're using the momentum that they've had and the energy that they get from the crowd to just keep coming in harder and harder.
So Mike Ray is in to punt once again. Down 33-5 at the beginning of the 4th quarter. With 7 minutes remaining in that 4th quarter, it is now 33-19. And Ray spins one out. McKinnon fumbles the football. It's on the ground loose, but he will recover.
That's interesting. That's the second one of the game that he fumbles around, but he actually ends up going back on. You see it by his facial expression, rolling his eyes, saying, "Ooh, that was close." You know what? You don't want to have too many of those this late in the game when it could give the ball back to the McMaster offense.
The turnover battle is clearly being won by the McMaster Marauders. Send it down to Elliot Friedman.
And just moments ago, when his defense was on the field, Tom Dennison just pulled his offense together and basically told them, we've got plenty of time, and if you give me some of it, we have plenty of time to come back and win. It's just a bit of a pep talk from Dennison. Just to let you know about his offensive line, they're all healthy enough to play. Ryan McElmoy is the guy who's on the sidelines now. They briefly yanked Ryan Freeman in favor of Andrew Stead, but with McElmoy temporarily out of the game, Freeman's back in, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Elliot. And as we mentioned earlier, not only is Tom Dennison from the area, but Brian Crawford is also a Hamilton boy who went to Queens, and I'm sure there's nothing more they'd like than to beat the hometown McMaster Marauders in the Yates Cup. The Marauders undefeated, ranked number 1 in the nation. The Queens Golden Gales' only blemish came in week 1 at this very same field, and these two will battle it out for the right to host the Churchill Bowl and call themselves Yates Cup champions. 6:49 remaining in the 4th quarter. Tommy Dennison in the shotgun with his team down 14. Back to pass. The pressure comes, he unloads, and there's a flag down on the play. Keswick Wainwright's wondering, what is that?
That'll be an interesting call. Keswick Wainwright seeing that he was step for step with the receiver John Frood, but then again, from down in that corner, you never know what kind of pushing and shoving happened.
Bruce Gray, tell us what's going on. They pick up the flag. So it'll be 2nd down, 10 to go. No time to ponder what could have been for Dennison and the Gales. Their offense marches right back out to the shotgun. 2nd down, 10 to go. Dennison, time. Dennison unloads Brad Smith, wide open, and he dropped the football. That is not something we normally see from Brad Smith. On the year, 37 receptions for 845 yards. That ranked him 3rd in the CIS, and he just dropped this.
Well, we were standing around on the sidelines during the warm-up at the beginning of the game, and he made 3 unbelievable catches during the warm-up, and I couldn't believe it. I was extremely impressed, and I thought, if this kid makes plays like that all afternoon, it's going to be a long one for McMaster. Unfortunately, this one just slipped right out of his hands.
Well, it's a curious decision here, down 14 with 6 and change remaining. Will Rudenhill will come on to punt, showing some confidence in their defense. No fake this time. Rudenhill angling out of bounds, and it will bounce inside the 15-yard line, and he does a good job as he plops it inside the 20.
That'll be a tough spot to start from for the McMaster offense, especially the way they've been going the last few drives. They've got to make some 1st downs, and they have to throw the ball downfield.
Time now for for our Pizza fan cam, brought to you by Pizza, Ontario's #1 pizza. And there's been a lot to choose from here today, and it's been the epitome of what Canadian Scholastic football should be.
Great afternoon, great fans in 3 colors from Queens and the maroon and gray from McMaster. People all over the place going nuts and cheering for their home team.
It's been a great battle. And those guys.
McMaster's engineering's finest.
And McMaster will have to engineer from some first downs here, as they are hemmed deep in their own zone, and they're going to pass. Zaremba looks to Kyle Pear, who led the OUA in multi-purpose yards last year, over 700 receiving and 700 rushing. And you see the many dimensions of Kyle Pear.
Oh, I like the call on this play. You know what? It's a low, dangerous zone. Dangerous factor play. You know, it's a pass to the flat. If nobody else than Kyle Pear catches it, it hits the ground and it's no big deal. I like that.
Not only can he catch the football, but he just caught his mouth guard popping out of his jaw there. So it is second down, about 4 to go. Call it a long 3. Here the deep back. The Queens fans trying to rally their defensive troops. The handoff will go to Pear. He's met in the backfield. He breaks 1 tackle and squirms forward. He will be short of the first down.
Well, he will be short, and I wonder what kind of mentality Coach Marshall's got at this point. Is he going to try to punch it in to keep the clock moving and to keep those sticks moving for first down, or is he just going to rely on his defense to stop Queens once again?
It is short, and Coach Marshall hasn't sent out any of his troops just yet. Mike Zaremba and the rest of the crowd kind of awaiting the call, and here comes Mike Long. They're going for it.
They're going for it, and look for Kyle Pear to... It's going to be either Kyle Pear on the power to the right side of the formation or Zaremba on the quarterback sneak. Those are your 2 options right now.
Dance with the one that brung you. Their running game ranks first in the OUA. They've never shied away from 3rd and short, but none have been bigger than this. Zaremba, the deep back is Pear, the full back is Long. We see some movement in the backfield, and it's just Zaremba pushing forward, and he got the first down, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's your highest rating on this play. There's no exchange in the backfield. There's no danger for a fumble. You take the ball right from the center, and all you have to do is dive right over his head. Great job by Zaremba to get the first down.
Well, we talked to Coach Marshall. He said, I'm going to bang it, I'm going to bang it, I'm going to bang it. He banged it, and it worked on this occasion. 4:11 remaining in the 4th quarter. The McMaster Marauders on their home field. Les Prince Field. Standing room only, even that was full. They've got people around the fences here, and the Marauders are looking to run this one out. Zaremba, there's a fumble, but Jesse Lumsden is able to hang on to the football, and they just averted disaster.
Now, this is the difference between calling power pitch or simply power on the left side, and I'd like to be in the huddle at this point to see what's going on. Jesse Lumsden thinks he's going to get the ball handed off to him, and Mike Zaremba thinks it's a pitch to the outside. So a little bit of a difference in handoff situations on this one, and the main difference is the reason why Jesse didn't even see the ball coming is that as a running back, if it's going to be a handoff, all he's going to simply do is look at the point of attack, not even look at the quarterback. Now, if it's a toss, then he'll look at the quarterback and see where the ball comes from. So a little bit of a mix-up on this last one.
Lumsden showing some fantastic hands there, as he just stuck out a paw and hauled it in. And Queens takes a timeout, stopping the clock with 3:46 remaining, and it's second down and long.
Now, this could have been a really good play for Queens and a really bad play for Mac. You know, Jesse Lumsden saved Mac from a big turnover on this one, and I'm sure they'll take it at this point and just try to move the ball forward without creating too many turnovers.
There's a look at the temporary stands in the end zone, along with people about 7 deep standing, and the hot tub.
It's always a nice addition late in November like this.
The top two teams in our entire nation going down to the wire, coast to coast on the Score television network. Second down long. Zaremba under center, here in motion. They're going to throw the football over the middle. It is complete. And Vaughn Swart breaks a couple tackles and brings it forward for a first down. Big players make big plays. Vaughn Swart is a big player.
Great patience by Zaremba to deliver the ball to Vaughn Swart coming underneath. And we talked about experience. As an older player, you come in underneath and you know what to expect. Big Sean Postma, number 75, is springing Vaughn Swart by giving him a big block and an opportunity to turn upfield for a first down.
The word three-peat comes to mind as the clock continues to tick with each first down garnered by the McMaster offense. 3:34. And you can see three-peat is on the minds of these McMaster fans. Lumsden, the deep back. Kogi in motion, and the hand will go to Lumsden, who pushes forward for about 5 yards. And again, it'll be second down and a good margin as the Queens Golden Gales has called a timeout, their second. They are done for the game. They stopped the clock with 3:11, and while we have a timeout, let's go to Sid Sixero to give us a little something.
Yeah, you know. CFL's postseason begins tomorrow. Toronto are going to take on Saskatchewan at Skydome. Former Rough Rider QB Reggie Slack will lead the Argos into battle.
You have to go in, and you have to be sharp, and you have to be focused, and you have to execute. And we have that ingredient, I feel, and it's just a matter of going out and playing with the level of intensity that's necessary to win.
You've been a part of the first two Yates championships here at this school. This third one needs a couple of first downs to be complete. If you're in the huddle with Coach Marshall right now, what's he saying?
Well, right now he's saying one thing: let's get the first down. And it's imperative that they get the first down to kill some more of the clock. They've already killed 2:49 in this drive alone. If they can keep doing the same, it'll be a great job that the offense has done. Now the other thing is, let's keep the ball to ourselves. You don't want to turn the ball over. And if you're the quarterback, you tell that to your running backs and receivers. And the other thing you remember, if you're going to throw into an interception, just throw the ball out to the outside.
Everyone on Queens is at the line of scrimmage, and the one setback is Mike Long. He's not going to catch the ball. They go outside looking for Vaughn Swart, and they say he hauled it in. Vaughn Swart with 2 massive receptions on second down.
Talk about coming in big in this game. Vaughn Swart's been a key receiver all year, but not as used as much this year as he did in the past. Big catch, 1 foot down, in bounds. That's a great catch.
Canadian football and NCAA. 1 foot is all you need, and Swart gets the tippy toes down, grabs that piece of grass, and the 3-minute warning. First down, 10 to go. Queens does not have another timeout to stop this clock. They need a turnover, or they need some sticks, and in a hurry. Zaremba will just watch that play clock wind down. It is at 5. The handoff goes to Lumsden. And Jesse will take it to the 5th.
Right there, it's not covered, it's not totally buried. About a quarter of the stone.
On the clock.
And what's been key in this drive is that on the first down, they've obviously handed the ball off, but the offensive line has allowed Jesse Lumsden and Cal Peer to make gains of 4 or 5 and now 6 yards on the first down. That allows for play calling to be a little bit easier on 2nd and 4.
Play clock at 14 and counting. Zaremba will just watch it tick down before he snaps this football. They get a first down. This could be done. Peer, the carry, he is stuffed short. And Queens would be better served to get off Peer and get ready to receive.
Stop by Andrew Pepper.
They'll get the ball back if indeed Marshall decides that he wants to kick it on 3rd down and 1 yard to go.
Well, they're bringing the meat. Colin Shanahan's coming in, and they'll probably try to go to Kyle Pierre the same way they did on this last play. Jack Goodrow coming in from the corner, stopping enough of Kyle Pierre to force them into a 3rd down gamble.
3rd down again. The first time that they tried, it was successful. We could probably call Kimmy Gibbler because there's going to be a full house backfield. And indeed there is. The big fellas. Binder and Long lead the way for Kyle Pierre. 3rd and 1. Last time Zaremba kept. This time he'll hand the ball off to Pierre, and he is stuffed in the backfield. No dice as the Golden Gales defense, and I believe they have taken over on offense.
Oh, they certainly have. Looking at the spot, Kyle Pierre didn't have enough ups on that one to get over the line. A little bit of a mishap in the backfield. Nick Binder didn't have anywhere to go. Unfortunately, Kyle Pierre just tried to put his head forward down the middle to get the 1st down, but short, unfortunately.
The measurement will make it official, and it's by a good margin.
They actually moved back from the actual spot that they had on the 3rd down to this. So Queens Golden Gales get a decent field position to start with.
The McMaster Marauder fans rise to their feet, sensing the possibility of a 3-peat. Tom Dennison does not want to have any part of that. Flushed out of the pocket, sacked. Smith, the initial pressure, and then Colin Shanahan is the Windex, and he cleans up the mess.
Great job by Jeff Smith to come in from the outside, from his defensive end position, and just fights off the block. And you'll see him coming in from the outside. There he is, getting a little bit of Tommy Dennison, enough to slow him down for Colin Shanahan to pick him up.
Loss of about 4.5 on the play, and Big Daddy is down. Looks like he cramped up a wee bit, so it gives the Golden Gales a chance to regroup here with 1:57 remaining on the clock.
Now this
is a 2-score game, and $1.57 in Canadian football is enough time.
Well, it's plenty of time, especially when you look at the offense of Queens, the way they've scored today. They've made some big catches, moving the ball downfield really quick, and you know, they can certainly move the ball downfield fast for quick scores.
So Colin Shanahan will jog off. And Ben, what a better way to end this season. It's been a lot of fun covering a game each week, and we're not disappointed in the final. Dennison underneath, he's got his man. Brad Smith is not dropping this football. He brings it across midfield to the McMaster 52-yard line, and the hurry-up offense will continue to move. Dennison in the shotgun. Flushed out again. This time he gets away and does a good job just to get rid of the football, stop the clock, and not take a loss.
Well, that's right. I mean, they've already allowed 7 sacks today. He just ran away from this one and threw the ball to the ground, making sure that no one was going to intercept that ball, allowing his offense to come back for another shot at the 1st down. You'll see him running away from Manny Furtado and Andrew Jones, the big number 92, who got a paw on Tommy Dennison, but not enough to take him down.
So it is 2nd down, 10 to go. Crowd on its feet. Dennison unloads, looking deep for Brad Smith, and he just can't run under that one. Brandon Little stride for stride, and finally Dennison is hurt, holding his knee, and he is just taking a beating.
Well, he
continues to get up. Time after time after time.
Mike Botterill, number 55, came in from the linebacker position, and he just took a huge shot on Tommy Dennison. You'll see him throw the ball, then he just rides him for a while, and there's the knee, just kind of giving on Tommy Dennison. Now, Mike Botterill is not a small man to carry around on your back. You know, at 6'2", 230, he's a piece of man and a half.
This is it. 3rd down, 10 to go. Flags down, and they're going to whistle this one dead, and as if things weren't bad enough for Tommy Dennison, he gets pulled down again. He's protesting a flag, and with the crowd as loud as it is, it's tough to hear the whistles out here.
Well, it certainly is, and you know that's what the referees will give the benefit of the doubt to the players down on this field.
And his procedure against the Queens Golden Gales, which will make it even tougher. Although if anyone in this league can look at a 3rd down and 15 and say we can do it, it's this offense.
It's certainly them. They've done it before. They've converted it, and this is key. They have to do it this time, or that's it.
Their season is on the line. Dennison, back to pass, wrapped up and fumbles the football. A fitting way for this football game to end. The McMaster front 7 simply too much. And we've got something we really don't need taking place on the football field. Guys are pushing and shoving. But it is fitting. Tom Dennison has been forced out of the pocket numerous times. He's been hit, he's been hurried, he's been sacked 7 times, make it 8 on this last play. The McMaster front 7 and the scheme of Joe Sardo, their defensive coordinator, has been absolutely incredible.
Well, it has been, and that's what that's the only reason why Mac has won this game. No offense to anybody else, but Coach Sardo's scheme and the way the players have played for him and within that scheme. Here's the pressure coming in on the quarterback again, and Mike Botterill, Nick Binder, Jeff Smith, everyone hanging on to him. Mike Gow getting into it. Andrew Jones jumps on the ball, and you know what? The credit has to be given where it's due, and it's the front 7 for the. And I have to say that covers also the coverage team for the McMaster Marauders. 8 sacks today by the defensive line and the linebackers for a loss of 78 yards. Now that's a long day for a quarterback.
Last week, he picked apart the Western Mustangs, the #1 ranked pass defense in the OUA. This week, the McMaster Marauders would not let him sit in that pocket.
And they came in and they didn't blitz all day long. They blitzed them at certain times, and when they did, it was successful, and they brought so many people that the Golden Gales simply could not block. All that many people were coming at them. And Tommy Dennison, tough man, has hung on in that pocket all day long to try to, to deliver the ball where he could, but it certainly has been a long day for him.
You can't ask much more from Tommy Dennison. And this is Queen's first trip. All these guys on the McMaster Marauders have been there before. They've seen this, and Yates going to a Yates Cup is a big deal if you play in the OUA. Let's flash back to last year when a certain somebody, I kind of know, who's that guy?
He had hair then.
So McMaster looking to 3-peat as their crowd sings. Under a minute left. They bring the house. McKinnon will let it roll, and we got a no yards there. As a few guys got down there to lay a lick on. So 38.2 left, and Tom Dennison jogs out one more time. And it has been a great year for the Golden Gales team. Their turnaround in this league and under Coach Sheehan has been very impressive.
It certainly has been, and you know what? They can be proud of the season they've had. Only one loss in the regular season, and it was to McMaster. Fighting all the way through, breaking records all season long. Coming here today, giving Mac a great battle. Unfortunately, just falling short.
So the McMaster Marauders looked as though they will host the game, and there is procedure on the Golden Gales as Dennison drops back to pass. And a record-breaking year for Tom Dennison, but for the McMaster Marauders, a lot of people slept on them coming into this season. A lot of people thought because you were gone, because they had two young men at quarterback, that they couldn't get the job done this year. And a credit to Greg Marshall and his staff. They are undefeated in OUA play.
And you know what? The main thing is, you know, this just explains that football is not an individual game. It's a team game, and you know it's important that everyone does their part. And today they have, and they have all season.
You want to see the arm of Tom Dennison? Exhibit A, Your Honor. He just threw that ball 60 yards in the air and overthrew a guy running a fly pattern.
Now that's a heck nominee if I've seen one.
St. Mary's will be coming to Hamilton. They have beaten St. FX in a big way. 63-14, the final out east. So at 27.6 remaining on the clock, it's good to see that Dennison is finishing this game out. Back to pass. Finds Brian Crawford, the Hamilton boy, who makes the catch, and he gets a couple of yards on the play.
Again, the defense from McMaster just wrapping him up with a bunch of different players coming in at the same time.
Pondering what could have been. Churchill Bowl at Richardson Stadium in Kingston would have been absolutely huge for people in Kingston. Instead, the city of Hamilton will host it, and congratulations to Greg Marshall, who has improved every year in this program and continues to do so. The three-peat is complete. Keswick Rainwhite does the classy thing, hits the ground, and the McMaster Marauders are 2002 Yates Cup champions. Champions, but they are also undefeated. 11-0, they face what many consider to be the second best team in the nation, ranked number 2 in the CIS, the Queens Golden Gales, who have nothing to be ashamed about this year. As Coach Sheehan tells his boys, and something tells me that they will be back in this situation again.
Oh, they certainly will. You look at the number of players on the Queens team that are in, you know, first, second, and third year. A lot of those players will be back next year. They've been in this game once already. They'll be back with a vengeance next year, having a goal in mind, which is coming back to Hamilton and beating the McMaster Marauders.
We'll be back with plenty more from Hamilton. The three-peat complete.